Welcome to a very special edition of Coffee and Conversations. I am LaWanna Bradford, and I am the founder of Celebrate You, Embracing Her Wellness, a international community that is designed to help platform the voice of women to showcase their empowerment, because we believe that when a woman is empowered and is able to love and celebrate herself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, she becomes the change not only that we want to see in the world, but the change the world sees, both in her family, the community, and the world.
I've been searching for a gold mine, been digging for a long time, looking for a diamond of the rarest kind. Then one day I found a perfect treasure, a worth of impossible measure. I started to pray, then I heard you say you would forever be mine. I struck love, now that I have found you, I struck love.
We have one of our sponsors, supporters, who's joining us, Miss Burge Smith-Lyons. And Burge is just a powerhouse. She is doing some dynamic things, and I'm going to bring her up and then allow her video to introduce her.
If you want to make a difference in the world and learn how to be a conscious, courageous leader, join Burge Smith-Lyons, CEO and founder of Essence of Being, Inc.
I'm Burge Smith-Lyons, and I'm the founder and CEO of Essence of Being and the Healing Forest Foundation.
Global leader, trainer, author, and facilitator of empowerment and leadership.
What we've been building over these last 25 years is a global movement of conscious leaders empowering others to create a win-win world.
Burge and her Essence of Being programs allow the participants to feel more inspired and ready to create the win-win world.
You take action anyway. That's courage. Commit to something even though you doubt it, and take action anyway. Are you ready to take action? First of all, you have to have a desire in order to want to transform. Something's maybe not exactly the way you want it in your life, in your business, in your relationship, in your purpose.
She is extraordinary, beyond most of the speakers that you will see.
Burge kind of walks on water because she's always able to get to the heart of everything.
Met Burge and I was just blown away.
But sometimes you have to trust just a little bit in order to cooperate. How many of you have lost trust? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll help you get it back. Maybe they've lost faith in others or themselves. Sometimes you just have to get back to the roots and say, I matter, I'm important, and I make a difference. They can go out and be the best they can be, to be the conscious leaders that they know that they are. If you want to change your life, and if you want to make a difference in this world, and you know that you matter, then come play with us in our sandbox of Essence of Being.
For continued success in business, relationships, and expanding your purpose, contact Burge at burgesmithlyons.com and essenceofbeing.com. Join us at Essence of Being and the Conscious Leadership Academy.
All right. Well, did I tell you she was a powerhouse or what? How's it going, Burge?
Hey, LaWanna. Yes, I like, who is this person? Yes, thank you. Speak from one powerhouse woman to another. We got to stick together.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this is Women's History Month. How awesome is that? And the theme for this month is Women Who Tell Our Stories, but the international theme is embracing equity. And you do both. I mean, you help both men and women discover their stories, uncover their stories, walk in their truth, walk in their greatness. But then you also believe in creating an environment of inclusion and how we can leverage equity so everyone has the same opportunities. And today we want to have a very special conversation in your zone of genius, which is the whole mind-body connection world.
Yes, that's definitely, we got to have it all.
Yes.
Definitely. Because, if your emotional and your physical and your mental and your spiritual are not all aligned, and it can get out of whack sometimes. And sometimes we feel like we might be spinning our wheels because we could have great mindset about things, but yet our emotions are out of check, or we don't have a spirit connection to support us when we feel like we're in self-doubt. So we can go to self-love, or if we're in scarcity, we can go to abundance, So I feel like it's really important for us to have all of those aspects aligned so that we can be 100% authentic. Right?
I like that. And so let's unpackage that a little bit more, because you gave us a really good overview. In the most simplistic of terms, when someone is trying to struggle with this mind-body connection, creating balance, harmony, whatever we want to use to package this experience, how would you define it to someone who's really exploring in this lane?
So one of my favorite sayings that I say is trust and allow and don't ask how, meaning that oftentimes, as I said, if we're not aligned, if our subconscious and our conscious mind is not aligned, which also includes our emotional intelligence that we have to be able to connect to letting our emotions guide us. We can be rudderless if we don't. And many of us have stuffed those emotions, or we've numbed out because of past experiences because we don't want to get hurt again, or maybe we're afraid of the unknown. And so learning to face our fear and moving forward and really having a connection, whatever your spirit connection is, whether it's God or universe or great spirit or source or whatever you want to call that, is know that you're not alone. So I feel like it really impacts if we can have the physical energy of who we are connected with our emotions, connected with our spirit and our mindset straight, then again, we don't have to be afraid as much. And what you're doing and what we're doing together with Essence of Being and Celebrate You and everything that you do and we do together is a way of really building a global community of conscious leaders, empowering women and others to create a win-win world. And that's what I'm all about, and that's what we do. And that's why I want to. Yeah.
I was listening to, I don't know, it might have been just something on YouTube. But I loved how this individual put this statement, as you said, trust and allow, don't ask how. Mm-hmm. And he said, when you are totally connected, again, that mental, spiritual, and physical connection, he said, why are you chasing after things? Because when you're chasing, then you're saying that it doesn't exist. Mm. But when you allow, then that's when it manifests.
Exactly. And the thing is, most of us don't even know what maybe we don't even know what we want. We don't know what we want to allow. And maybe the chase is something that, well, I'm here. That means what I want is somewhere else. And so if we open up that portal or that vortex of allowing it, as opposed to forcing it, it's a whole different energy of just being at peace. But I feel like if we could dig into the subconscious part a little more, because they've proven that there are 40,000 subconscious thoughts to one conscious thought. And they proved that in quantum physics. So, I mean, don't ask me how they did it. But if that's true, how important is it for us to know what our subconscious is thinking? Because those could be the blocks to really allowing us to be authentic and to love ourselves and to support ourselves in anything that we want to do and to create a bigger impact in the world. So the subconscious is really important, and we raise that to a conscious level so that we can do something about it.
Exactly. And I like that, because then you show up in your life, creating your life on purpose rather than it accidentally happening, right?
Right. Intentional.
You don't know what's under the surface brewing.
Well, I'll tell you a clue. A clue to know what it is that your subconscious is thinking is look at your results, because that is what's running the bus. You could do affirmations all day long, and you could be doing a lot of things consciously. For instance, checking your credit report, doing investment strategies, being on a dating app, whatever it is that you're wanting. Okay. But those are your conscious thoughts that you're choosing to take action about. But if your subconscious is blocking you somehow, then that's what's really running the bus. If your subconscious thought is, I don't deserve it, or I'm unwanted, or I'm not enough, then that is what's going to keep showing up over and over again to prove yourself right.
Yeah, that's really deep. I know when I first got to the point that I could accept that, that's when the shift happened and changed the favorable results that I wanted consistently. I think, I had shared with you in other sessions, I believe I can attract anything that I want. Well, I'm talking, let's use finances, for example. I've never believed that there's a lack of money, but then the issue was, well, I can attract it, but then why does it leave soon? What's going on here? And then I had to dig deep. And in one of your sessions, I realized, well, LaWanna, there's times when your hands are open, but a lot of times you're walking around with them closed, metaphorically speaking. So,
right. So when we're saying we want this, but we're also putting up this, it's that whole, if you're driving a car and you've got your gas on, that's what you want. And you know what that is, maybe, and you're going for it, but then you could be having your brake on at the same time, which is your belief that you can't have it, or the resistance of some sort. And so we end up driving around with our gas and our brake on at the same time, and we spin our wheels. And therefore, what I say is, hey, many of us know how to let go of our desires. We know how to settle. We know how to just let go of the gas and go, oh, well, just not meant to be, whatever that is. And so what we do around the world on 6 continents with people, is we say, look, just let go of the brake, which is, if we could just let go of the brake a little bit at a time, or even one big swing and do it all at once. Right. Basically, you don't have to give up what you really desire, and you just let go of the resistance.
I like that. At what point in your journey did you realize that you were a co-creator of your reality?
Well, I don't know if I've told you this story before, but when I was young, I had 47 warts. And I had a wart on the end of my nose, and I had a wart here. And so people called me a witch, right? Now I take that on, hey, I'm a witchy witch. So, but back then, it was not good. I was the ugly duckling. And so my point is, I kept asking God, I said, get rid of these for me. And we would go burn them off my nose, and they kept coming back. And I had them all over my body. And so one night I said, I prayed to God, and I said, okay, release these. I want these to be gone. And I was very sincere. And I woke up the next morning, and they were gone. Every single one of them were just gone. So that was my first little clue when I was young, when I was a kid, that, oh, this thought creates reality, or I'm not in this alone, or I can ask for help and receive it. And also the fact that I am the man, I can manifest. All I have to do is ask and be intentional about it, and it actually can happen. So I got a lot of evidence as I was growing up that this was true. And I'll never forget that. It was magic. So that's how I knew that I could create my reality, and I kept doing it. And, I was a seeker of that then at that point. Then I started really, really looking at, as I got older, in college, I was looking at how can I manifest more, and how can I get, how can I just improve who I am so that I can make a difference in the world? And so I really wanted to make an impact in the world. And now we're 30 years. Essence of Being is 30 years old now.
Congratulations.
I know, but I've been doing this personal development stuff for like 45 years, or just being a seeker, being a seeker. And for me, it's been beautiful to be able to give back and have an impact. And as you know, you're supporting our Conscious Leadership Academy in Africa. We built a whole school there, and then, teaching kids. And I love to teach kids young, so when they become adults, it makes it easier for me.
I love the story that you shared, and sometimes we forget about those experiences that we had when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
That I see them as gateways to the possibility. And when we get older, because we've forgotten and we become tainted and maybe even cynical because of the world, that we lose sight of the greatness that we're tapped to and that's within us. Right?
There's nothing wrong with us. And that's the thing that people might seek out, say, oh, I got to get fixed, or there's something wrong with me, I need help. Now, asking for support and help for many people is hard because it means they're weak, or that they've learned that from a young age or from other influences. And the whole point of that is, what I share with people is, the more vulnerable you are, the stronger you are. So my strength lies in my vulnerability, so that as long as you can open up to the vulnerability of allowing who you are, it becomes easier and easier and easier to ask for what you want and receive it. Because giving and receiving is the same energy. I know I've told you this 1,000 times, and we've talked about it, but it is so important to understand that the more I give, the more I receive, and the more I receive, the more I give. Because people a lot of us, especially women, we love to give, and we forget, oh, that's right, there are receivers. We can also be that receiver. But for many of us, we've learned as we're young, for different reasons, perhaps if we receive something, we owe people. Or if we receive something, it's a transactional thing, right? It's a transactional, well, now I have to give back to you, or there's strings attached somehow. So that's okay. I'll do it on my own. It's all right. And so we put up this block of connection and put up this block of receiving, but it kind of flows over to every part of our life. We don't even know we're doing it. So we try to be strong, and we try to be women and handle it ourselves. And so and I tell this story all the time about a baby, right? We've all been babies, but we're looking at the little baby. We're saying, you're so cute, you're so cute, you're so cute. So we're giving the baby love, and the baby's receiving it, right? And so that gives something back to us. So it warms our heart. So the more we receive, we actually are giving something back just by the simple fact of receiving.
I love that. And women do have a challenge with that, and we tend to justify why we are not in the seat of receiving, right? It's like we're trying to be everything for everyone else, and then we justify the crumbs that we allow to come our way.
And it's all up to us. So what if, here we go, what if we deserve to receive just because of the simple fact that we exist? What if we don't have to do anything for it? What if we don't have to do anything? Because think about it. When we were babies, did that baby go, no, don't love on me or give me anything. Let me wash your car for you first before you can, love me. No, the baby just was receiving. It's an innate quality of ours. And as you said, sometimes we just forget. We just forget who we are or what our possibilities are and how powerful we really are. And just opening up to that authentic, allowing self it's the best thing, because then you can demonstrate to others how to do that. So there's enough for everybody to win. So that's why I go to that win-win part of the world.
Let's talk a little bit about Essence of Being, your company, and I like to call it the theory of Essence of Being. So if you could explain to our listening audience what actually do you mean by essence of being? How does it show up in your life every day? And then tell us a little bit about the community and what you're doing around the world.
Sure. Essence of being, it's what it sounds like, the essence. It's the essence of who you are. And so that word essence is that purest form where there is no pretext, no judgment, no guilt, no, if there's fear, you move the fear to love. If there's doubt, you move the doubt to confidence. You're able to look at every aspect of your life in business, in relationships, in your purpose, okay, in your health, in your finances, being able to just look at all of those, your beliefs around all of those, and you get to see and discover through a lot of games we play and a lot of experiences. It's very experiential, okay, and you get to discover for yourself what is blocking me from perhaps the next level for me, or what I truly desire and deserve. And so you get to discover all of that. That particular class is a 3-day experience. I don't like to call it a class because it's really this experience that you have. And then you get tools to utilize, and you're part of a global community, because we're not alone here, and it's okay to ask for support. And so we also have a series. We have so many opportunities for people online, virtually, in person, which I love. And it's the essence of abundance, the essence of leadership, essence of success, essence of relationships, essence of communication. We have our woo-woo classes, higher vibes. There's so many different ways to plug in to the community. And I've, like I said, been teaching this on 6 continents for a long time, 30 years now. So we basically bring people together, and they get to explore and connect, because, as you know, our net worth is our network. And so the resources that we can have, the more people that we connect with and open up to, and especially now because of what's happened with COVID, being able to, the isolation and learning to reconnect with people is so powerful. And unfortunately, a lot of the children now, they connect with their screen, that's it. And so being able to connect heart to heart is so important to me. And I feel truly, deeply that we can have more peace on the planet if we could just get in the same room with each other. To me, because of the screens and because of that particular connection and technology, people don't know how to communicate heart to heart, or they don't understand that, again, that empathy or emotional intelligence is important. And that's what we try to bring to people, back to that, so that they can really have what they deserve.
I was in a meeting yesterday, and they were the new term is now collaboration equity. And it goes to that concern that we are so plugged into our devices that we're losing the social component, the critical social component. And how do we create, in this hybrid and or virtual world, sustainable relationships where we can truly say, I see you, I hear you, and I'm creating an atmosphere of belonging.
Absolutely. And that's a great question. And I feel like the hybrid, it's here to stay. The technology can move us forward, but the human part of us, to me, if you give your gift of development of some sort each year to come to connect, even if it's for the children or for yourself, or being able to connect heart to heart with people. That's why I keep doing what I'm doing, even just doing it in person, because everybody wants the same thing. Everywhere I've taught around the world, they all want the same thing. It doesn't matter what age or what race or what country or what religion. Everybody wants to know that they're loved. They want to know they're safe, and they want to know that they make a difference or that they matter. It's like, what is my purpose here? And therefore, when we're together building community and connecting on that level, it's there's nothing like it. And so I think the hybrid part of that is just allowing yourself to say, okay, each year I'm going to do 2 or 3 connecting experiences with people, like coming to Italy or coming to India with us, doing a spiritual retreat, doing Essence of Being, coming with groups of people or connecting with people that are seeking, that are of like mind, that are just wanting more out of life, and they want to make a difference in the world. And so it's that higher consciousness. It can work, and we can create really heaven on earth. And I'm not trying to be idealistic about it, but I feel like it's very real as long as we can demonstrate. So those are the things. If you go to essenceofbeing.com, you can see all the schedule of events that we have available online and in person. But come to the in-person ones, because it makes a difference on so many levels. It's very visceral.
Oh, I agree. I've been to one.
It's different, isn't it, doing that? Yeah.
It is. It is very different. And I was a skeptic.
And now you're not, and now you believe. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And the other part is people fear the unknown. They just don't, they don't
Right, but we have preconceived notions. And I think the one thing that you teach, just through your loving approach, you have a way of letting people truly be seen and heard, but allowing people to be whatever that is, right? And then helping them to navigate. And you said that it's okay to need help, and we all need guidance along the way. If you don't like the word help, we all need guides. We had our parents when we were growing up. Why? Because we needed their guidance, right? To teach us right from wrong, safe environments, unsafe environments. And it doesn't change as we go from one level of experience to the next. And I love the work that you're doing in all, using different modalities in all sections of the world, especially the work that you're doing with children. And one of the things I want to ask you is, I consider you a storyteller. Sitting in your sessions, you're not
a talking
you're not
head.
ashamed to share your story,
Right.
but also other stories. And I think through that, it creates a better relatability for people, because they can say, I can identify myself in that story. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because this month's theme, national theme for Women's History Month, is Women Who Tell Our Stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I teach a facilitation class, I teach people what I know and how to facilitate. I let the curtain, I go behind the curtain, and you get to see. And storytelling is so powerful. It's exactly like you said, it's relatable. And so I tell stories in my life. I look for, and you can do this in your own life, you look for teachable moments. You look at things in your life about, wow, for instance, I was just doing a puzzle. I love jigsaw puzzles. And I was doing this jigsaw puzzle, and I thought, I'm really attached to finding that one piece. And so I'm telling this story. I tell it in my workshops now about how you get so attached to something. So I have, there's concepts, but if you bring it out in a story, it is relatable and people get it on an empathetic, emotional level. So I'm looking for that one piece, and then I let go of the attachment of that one piece, and I find another piece, and I go, oh, wait a minute, that one can go over there. And then I go back to that piece that I was attached to. Where's that piece? And then I let go of the attachment, and I find another piece that goes in another area. And before long, every time I let go of the attachment, I'm building my puzzle. I'm actually creating something, and it's completing because I let go of the attachment of it. Because sometimes when you get really attached to something, it can really keep you from really getting what you want, because the attachment can cloud the truth. And so for me, that was a teachable moment. So I was like, oh, look at me getting attached, and now I can use this and teach about it. How if we let go of it has to be a certain person, a certain amount of money, a certain job, a certain business, a certain way, a certain time. We get all bent out of shape about it because we get really attached. And so if we could let go, perhaps, because it might be something, this or something better can come along because we let go of our blinders and we allow other things to come to us different times and different ways that we may not have allowed before, because if we let go of the attachment. So that's a story that I tell in the classes. And I have another story too, if you want.
Yes, in fact, I'm going to take myself down, and I'd like you to tell the story to the audience and then let them know how they can get in contact with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
All right.
Take you down. That sounds funny. So the story that I love to tell is about purpose, because a lot of times people come to me and they say, Burge, I don't know what my purpose is. I feel purposeless. And of course, because of what's happened in the world, it's a lot of people maybe have forgotten, what their intention is in life and what their direction is and what they want to really be when they grow up. Right. So I used to teach drama. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I used to teach drama in high school, and I had this kid in my class who was this brilliant. He was so awesome. He was just a natural, and I was doing Godspell, and I cast him as Jesus. And this was back in the 70s here in Atlanta. And he was a black kid, and it was very controversial. What do you mean you're casting? But he was this brilliant, he loved it, this passion that he had. And so when we finished the class, we finished the school, he was about to graduate, and he said, I said, oh my gosh, Reggie, you've got to do this for your life. This is such your passion. He goes, yeah, but my mom and my dad, they want me to be a doctor. So I'm going to go to medical school. And I said, oh, Reggie, okay, just follow your passion, honey, because that's what you really want to do. So I didn't see him again for 4 years. And so there I was in Disney World 4 years later. And guess who was out in front, doing a solo right in front of Cinderella's castle? It was Reggie. And so I saw him, and I was jumping up and down, and I was this crazy woman going, Reggie, oh my God. And he saw me, and he brought me backstage, and he got down on his knees, and he said, oh, Burge, thank you. Thank you for telling me that I followed my passion, and my parents are so proud of me. I'm going to Japan. I'm making more money than I've ever made. I'm living my dream. This is what I've always wanted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't know I had made that effect. I had that effect on that kid. I had no idea. And so I realized at that moment, wow, we really don't know what kind of effect we have necessarily on people. And that was my purpose, meaning that as long as we're adding value along the way toward our goal, it's not the goal. It's the value that we add along the way. And if we're adding value, then our effect in the world adds value. We may never see it, and we may be very blessed to see it from time to time about how much we have affected people and impacted them. And it's a concept called precession. It's the effect of bodies in motion on other bodies in motion. So the point is, as long as you're in motion, as long as you're moving, as long as you're going toward a goal, then you're having an effect in the world. And as long as on your way toward that goal, you're adding value, then your effect in the world will add value. And that, my friends, is your purpose, is to add value. And that's the story I tell. And so you can get in touch with me at essenceofbeing.com and check out our schedule of events and come play with us.
I love that. So pre-session is
the effect of bodies in motion on other bodies in motion. Yeah. It's sort of like when you drop a stone into the water, it creates a ripple, right? Mm-hmm. Or the earth and the moon, they have an effect on each other, but they're in movement. They're always moving. So the minute we stand still, frozen with fear, or stand still thinking that there's nothing left for us to do, or we don't know where to step because we might fall. As long as we are moving, we're having an effect. If we stand still, we're frozen and we don't have an effect. Mm-hmm. And that's when we feel like maybe we've lost our purpose. So my suggestion for all of us, especially women, is to just keep it's like what Dory says in the fish Just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So just keep moving. And as long as your intentions are, I'm going to add value somehow, that allows us to really know that we are living our purpose, which again is that global impact. Even if it's just one person showing up at the grocery store and you smiled at them, you made a difference in their life. We never know. So it's very powerful just to keep that in the front of our mind when we feel lost sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. This has been an amazing session. It's been very conversational but educational, and I hope to the listening audience, you have been here with the amazing Burge Smith-Lyons with Essence of Being, and she's just given us insight on that mind-body connection and how we have accountability and responsibility for our own lives, but we have to show up. We have to be willing to not be sidelined and to be conscious creators, right?
Love it. The conscious, yes, global conscious leaders. That's who we are, making a difference, empowering others to create the win-win world, Miss LaWanna.
Yes, but meeting you has been a delight, and I look forward to continuing to play and do some amazing things with you. Well, again, thank you so much, Burge, everyone.
Are you ready to defy gravity and challenge the impossible? Meet LaWanna Bradford, the visionary leader behind Choose to Challenge on E360 TV. Now in its 5th season, this groundbreaking show shines a spotlight on voices of change from across the globe. Born during the pandemic, Choose to Challenge becomes a platform for transformation where no topic is off limits. Every episode highlights individuals breaking barriers, rewriting narratives, and making an impact. Ready to share your story and inspire change? Call 404-618-2824 to become a guest. This is your moment to rise. Tune in now at e360tv.com. Your voice matters. Let's change the world together.